Hi everyone, welcome to our London office where I have with me Sak Abdi, the latest addition to our team here at Firefly Studios. Sak has a love of video games history and has been with us since February 2022, infiltrating our team like some kind of marketing ninja. Now Sak, got a question for you.
Okay.
To introduce you to the audience.
Sure.
What was the last game you played?
And
did it make you mad?
That didn't make me mad. Okay, that's harder. Probably a game called Silico. It's on the Steam Next Fest.
Already recommending other people's games. Good start.
A marketing ninja. That's what I do.
Sak has been scouring the internet and more specifically our social media feeds for your questions about the future of the Stronghold games here at Firefly. He'll be putting these to me directly today and trying to extract some early information surrounding what we have planned for the series. These questions will cover a wide range of topics and I'll do my very best to answer them as accurately and truthfully as possible at this very early stage in development. Just remember, if we're being vague about anything, it's because we're still in the process of making these decisions. That said, I hope you appreciate our transparency and I look forward to hearing what you think in the comments and of course on the Stronghold Discord, which of course, Sak, you're already part of, right?
Am I?
One strike. Strike one. So without wasting any more of your time, are you ready, Sak?
I am ready.
Let's get started on our first ever future Stronghold Q&A.
Alrighty then. And the first question on everyone's lips is, how long will it take the next Stronghold to develop?
So yeah, as we said before in both the Firefly in 2022 and Unreal 5 videos, we're going to be in the early stages at the moment. It's all pre-production, as you know. So it's like very, very early work on the game. We're kind of just piecing together what our ambitions are for the series going forward at the moment, how we're going to achieve that, and then realistically, like what kind of time frame we think we can accomplish that all by. Warlords took us about 3 years to develop, I think, looking back. And in that case, we had Crusader 2 as a basis to work from. This is a completely new game engine for us. Spoilers for later in the video, or if you haven't seen the Unreal video. So it's a little harder to predict on this project. Not impossible, but definitely harder. At this point, it's a while away, but we will be sharing as much as we can with you before that point, taking the games to shows, doing previews, and just sort of gathering feedback and being as transparent as possible between now and whenever that reveal is.
Question 2. Will the next game be isometric? Or could it be?
So I do think we've answered this question numerous times over the years in various different formats, but that's an aesthetic that we all love here. I think the challenge at Firefly and any other company trying to make these kinds of games is just that, even before our time when Firefly was moving towards 3D in the early noughties, the challenge has always been how to realize aspects of 2.5D isometric, whether it's a new 2D game or a new 3D game. So people love the sort of 2D isometric gameplay for a whole bunch of different reasons. There's like the art style, the precision of the combat, the visual detail, and just kind of all those little wonderful details that exist when everything is just these tiny little pixel characters on the screen, because everything looks so intricately detailed in a way that 3D, it's more of a challenge to kind of recreate that in 3D. And over the years, we've kind of continued to try to incorporate these qualities into all of our games, really. Wherever the art style is, whatever kind of direction that's taking, whether it's 2D or 3D, we're always trying to kind of recreate those qualities in our titles. That's really important to us. And anyone that followed us on Warlords will know that we were constantly trying to add those kind of details into the game, and we'll definitely be continuing to pursue those in the future of the series.
Next question. Stronghold VR when?
Well, why do VR when you can do AR? I'm thinking Pokemon Go, right?
Tell me.
Play as the scribe.
Okay.
You collect peasants.
I'm listening.
Instead of gyms, you besiege castles.
Mm-hmm.
You walk around.
I'm liking this.
That trains the peasants. You turn the peasants into soldiers and workers by walking around. You build a castle around your real life home.
Now we're talking.
Maybe, you trade with other players by going to their homes.
I'm sold.
Maybe you set up estates and trading posts around like places that you go to a lot, like your place of work. Does this sound like a really good game?
Honestly, I'd play this.
Okay, yeah. There it is. He'd played the of it. We're doing it. We're not.
Question 3. I've heard rumors, but will this new Stronghold have a new engine?
So yeah, the rumors are true. Between Epic's Unreal 5 video announcement and our last video on the topic, cat's out of the bag, we are going to be changing engine for the next game. So you can check out our Unreal 5 video for all the juicy details on that front. Obviously we recognize that the work ahead of us is significant, in terms of really living up to people's expectations from, what an Unreal RTS even looks like. That doesn't stop the whole thing from being incredibly exciting. I'm not, kidding when I say the future of the series is looking really bright. After the pandemic and developing both Warlords and Romans, completely remotely, it feels really good to be on a new project with a new engine. Just to have all the kind of like possibilities laid out in front of us feels really good.
Question 5. Can future games have strong walls?
So as with any kind of question about features, we can't commit to anything just yet. What I would say a bit like earlier with the amount of time dedicated to actually making the game and how long it's going to be. If you look at the past track record, Crusader 2 and Warlords both had this feature for good reason. Whether it's toggled or turned into part of the core gameplay, it's something that players have just told us time and time again. Even if it's in the game, they'll still ask for it because they just default. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. Stronghold game, strong walls. So we hear that. It was added to Crusader 2 post-release, and I think it was added to Warlords, pretty much at release. We don't want to restrict ourselves too much in terms of design and balancing. So you're not going to get every single feature from the past 20 years in every single Stronghold game. Our goals for each title is going to vary slightly. But what I would say is that I don't think strong walls are necessarily something you need to worry about. We love strong walls. Strongholds are best walls.
Sweet. My expectations have been met. Question 6. Will there be a naval element to the next game?
Stronghold is about
strongholds.
It's about siegecraft. It's about customizing your castle, the production chains that come with those incredible buildings, managing your economy. And it doesn't feel like naval's an essential part of that, at least not yet. There's also a historical angle as well. There's the fact that with the exception of Warlords, the sort of time periods that we've dabbled in, they've featured ships in the sense that those ships have brought in people to invade countries. And there were obviously massive incursions and invasions via ship, but these periods never really had deep ship-to-ship combat that didn't come until much later. So, when we're designing campaign missions, we've kind of yet to come across a really thrilling implementation of naval combat, one that would really enrich the kind of like core Stronghold gameplay.
Next question. Some people have been wondering, do we have Boris Johnson on payroll?
Sadly, no, Mr. Johnson isn't voicing any of our characters. And he also wasn't voicing the lore of Stronghold videos.
Welcome back to the chaos and calamity that is medieval England. Today, we explore another chapter in the Stronghold lore series.
That would be Matt Smith, one of our senior coders here at Firefly. I actually didn't think he sounded like Bojo, and now I kind of hear it, so that's that completely and utterly ruined for me. So thank you, whoever commented like that. Appreciate it. Just can't watch those videos anymore. Or listen to Matt.
Question 7. Will upcoming Stronghold games be available on Mac?
So if someone's asking this question, they're probably aware of the fact that we haven't done a Mac version of our games in a while. Quite possibly never internally. They've pretty much always been outsourced as far as I can remember. But to answer your question, in theory, it's made slightly easier by the fact that we've shifted to Unreal. In practice, it's a slightly more complicated question. At the moment, we're just focused on the PC version, making that as streamlined as possible, making it as tight and polished as it can be on that platform. We wouldn't want to make any compromises on any front for any platform. So it's that kind of classic question of, do we have the resources to do it? Do we think we're going to make the money back spent working on that? The focus remains on the PC version, but our minds are open to other platforms. But we don't want to sacrifice anything on the PC front.
So playing Stronghold on a pregnancy test?
Probably not going to happen. No pregnancy tests, no pianos, no printers. What else has Doom been on? Game Boy? Probably a Game Boy at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
A fridge? It was on a fridge.
Well, I was going to say Skyrim was on a fridge.
Yeah, Skyrim was on a fridge.
You play Stronghold on your fridges.
Oh, that's cool.
No Stronghold on your fridges.
Question 8. Will you ever continue the timeline of Stronghold and Stronghold 3?
For the record, I do love how Stronghold 1 ends, and this is a spoiler, with the wolf being like impaled and thrown from his tower, and then we still managed to somehow top that with the crazy cliffhanger of an ending that is, Stronghold 3. It's actually kind of impressive looking back. I think what I would say is that we really value the kind of universe of characters that we've built up over the years. It's one of the reasons we did the recent Lore of Stronghold video, and I realized that people love that about the series. The last 2 games have been pretty skirmish focused, with the kind of narrative component being sort of not relegated, but it's more sort of flavored with history rather than the characters that we've kind of been known for in the past. But that doesn't mean that we don't kind of understand the love for these characters, and just across all of the games in general, right? Whether it's like the main timeline, which is the wolf, or the sort of like parallel universe of Stronghold 2, or the legend stuff, or Crusader, like with Crusader, even when these characters are based on historical figures, Stronghold still gives them that extra element of like humor and flair that you don't necessarily get with other types of games in the same kind of genre.
The Stronghold flavor.
Yeah, the Stronghold flavor. I think the Stronghold flavor is something that we really want to build on going forward, regardless of how heavy an element story plays in each title, I think. I want to bring that back. What would the Stronghold flavor be? How would you describe it as a taste?
I'd say musky, but familiar.
Earthy, yeah. Earthy,
yeah.
Nice.
Question 9. Will Stronghold ever incorporate fantasy again?
Yeah, so we absolutely love fantasy. We definitely see it in the same way that we view the Crusades. Anytime we talk about Crusader, that always goes down really well and people love that. And I think there's just as much of an opportunity to do that and investigate new gameplay with fantasy setting as there would be with, a unique historical setting like that one. So yeah, we'd love to do it for the same reasons that we'd be interested in exploring a popular historical setting of any kind. I think one of the reasons why we're able to keep Stronghold fresh is because every new setting, including fantasy, gives us new characters, new gameplay, and I think sort of fantasy has as much to offer on that front as any kind of historical setting, of which there are many. So that's it for part 1 of our new Stronghold community Q&A. Zach, how was it sitting here, recording your first video? Did it feel good?
I can't feel mass anymore, but it feels good, yes.
So if you liked what you heard today and want to hear more about our future castle simulation plans, then please join us next time for part 2. In part 2, we'll be covering both the very serious and very stupid questions, including everything from what will your system requirements be, through to does Nick voice all of the characters in the games? Stay tuned and find out.